Welcome to the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. Each episode shares transformative insights and advice from members of Forbes Councils, a group of invitation-only communities for successful executives and entrepreneurs. This is Inside Forbes Councils.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Inside Forbes Councils. I'm your host, Stephen Ganoza. Today we have a very special guest. He is the Senior Vice President of Product Development and Strategic Alliances for InterVision, Jeff Tunn. Now, I think anybody who has experience in a corporate environment has experienced or has at least witnessed the struggles that tech teams often face in winning buy-in from key stakeholders and senior leaders. In this talk, Jeff's going to explain the storytelling strategies that he uses to convey his vision to leadership and how he's found success in gaining support for his initiatives.
This past fall, I was honored to be asked to participate in Forbes Councils' Ask an Executive inaugural post. The question posed was, how can I get a leadership team excited about a new initiative? My answer, which involved painting a picture of your vision, seemed to resonate with a lot of readers, and today I'd like to amplify that answer a bit. Let me set the scene. I was the new CIO for a billion-dollar commercial real estate developer. They had hired me to take their IT department to the next level. They knew that in order to hit their growth targets that they wanted, that they were going to have to leverage technology and leverage it strategically. So we set out on a project to build a 3-year strategic plan for IT. I did what many CIOs do. I hired a consulting firm to help us put this together. Over the course of the next couple of months, the team spent a lot of time interviewing the leaders throughout the business, personal interviews with them about what things they needed in technology, how they leveraged it, where did they see the industry going. We spent a lot of time trying to understand the industry itself and researching trends that would be impacting commercial real estate and construction. We ended up with a mountain of data and some great ideas to form our plan. But it just wasn't gelling. There wasn't that compelling story to go in and talk to the executive team and communicate these plans in a way that would convince them to execute the plans and also, frankly, to spend a boatload of cash, their cash. I was sharing our frustration with a colleague in the company, Matt Kashat. Matt was a project manager in our construction department out of our Charlotte office. He also had a passion for tech, so would often find ourselves in conversation related to tech trends in the construction industry and whatnot. After listening to me whine about our strategic plan for a little bit, he had a suggestion. These are the same people who make multi-million-dollar business decisions all the time. Build a 10-building technology park? Yes, we can do that. Build a casino at a resort in rural Indiana? Sure. Build a skyscraper in downtown Charlotte for NASCAR? Sign us up. How do they do it? How are they able to make these multi-million-dollar decisions, these gambles? He went on to explain each and every one of these projects is presented in the exact same format. They called it an investment memo, and no matter what the project, the memo always contained the same sections. There was the executive summary, elevation drawings, comps, budgets, site plans, and several others. Why don't you take those ideas that you have in that IT strategic plan and put it in the same format, in an investment memo format? Great idea, but I had never written one. However, Matt had. So I flew down to Charlotte. We literally locked ourselves in my hotel room for 3 days, took all that great material, reformatted it, rewrote it, and put it into an investment memo. You might be thinking equating an IT strategic plan to building a building is a bit of a stretch. But think about it. Just think of the site plan, for example. It includes how you're going to prep the site, the foundation work, how are you going to connect water and sewer, where do the power lines come in, where do the phone lines come in, is there fiber and how does it connect? Isn't that the same thing as the data center building itself? The raised floor, the environmentals, the connectivity with the outside world. The next piece of building a building is to talk about the core and shell. That's the heart of the building and the skin, the outside walls of the building. Isn't that the same thing as infrastructure, servers, storage, and network? Then the interior build out. Where are you going to put the walls for the tenants? And each of the tenants gets to customize their space to the way that they want to be able to use it. That's very, very similar to applications, right? You put applications in for the end users to leverage, and they can customize those applications to a certain extent. But just like in a tenant improvement situation, you're not going to let the tenant on the 35th floor put a balcony outside the windows. They can't penetrate the skin of your building. So you put parameters around the applications. The end users can customize them to be used, but they can't go outside the parameters. It's very, very similar. Even the non-technical sections of an investment memo, the comps or the comparables, those are the same thing as benchmarks. IT people use benchmarks all the time. The market outlook, same thing as trends in technology, trends in real estate development. It really hangs together when you stop to think about it. As we started to write this out, not only was our vision coming to fruition through these plans, but our mission and our vision really emerged. Great people, great tools, great results. That became our team's rallying cry. When it came time to present our strategic plan to the executive team, we ran through it just like we were presenting to the investment committee. After all, it was basically the same people around the table. I ran through what was now basically an investment pitch. It was in a familiar format, in familiar language. When I finished, the room was silent. All the eyes were focused on me. The CEO leaned back in his chair, clasped his hands behind his head, and said, "This is the first time I have ever understood IT." It was a defining moment. I still get goosebumps talking about it. I should add, we did get the funding. I think the other thing that is really important, in addition to speaking their language, is setting the context. Your project or initiative is not happening in a vacuum. Start with the macro view of the industry in which your company operates. What is the current state? What are the outside forces acting on it? What are the major trends? Then zoom in a bit and answer the same questions about your company. Finally, zoom in further and talk about your initiative in the same way. You have to take your audience on the journey. You've been on a long journey putting your initiative together, thinking about it. You've spent a lot of time with that subject. They probably haven't. You have to take them on that journey with you, but you have to do it quickly. They're very likely very busy, like the executives in the real estate firm. So you have to set the stage, then get to the heart of the matter. This example was from a real estate developer. But what if you worked for a law firm? How do they communicate? A lot of times it's through a legal brief. What if you wrote your plan in the form of a legal brief? What if you approached it like a negotiation? Every attorney I know loves to negotiate. If you're in media and entertainment, how about developing a movie trailer or a TV series pilot to tell your story? If you're in ag tech, how about a farmer sowing a field and then tending to the crop? You could take it all the way from planting the crop to maintaining it and feeding it throughout the year until harvest. Same type of thing, building an IT system. Some of you may be questioning yourselves, thinking, gosh, I'm not creative enough to come up with all these ideas. You have to remember, I wasn't either. It took talking to others, even outside my department. You may need to talk outside your department or even outside your company. Sit down with some creative people and tell them about your initiative. I'll bet they can find ways to help you tell that story. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be on the Forbes Tech Council, and thank you for the opportunity to be on this podcast. I've really enjoyed our time. If you're interested in learning more about the process of painting your vision, my book, Amplify Your Value, is available on Amazon. If you are interested in booking me to speak on this topic or others, or facilitating a workshop, you can find me at www.jeffreystun.com, or I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter. To find out more about InterVision and how we can help you identify the right premises, the right technology, and the right model, go to www.intervision.com.
Thank you so much, Jeff. You did a great job of showing how important it is to know your audience, especially when it comes to pitching leadership on your vision and winning buy-in to make that vision a reality. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
This has been Inside Forbes Councils. Please be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a member of the Forbes Councils and would like to participate in our podcast series, please email your member concierge. If you're interested in joining a Forbes Council, learn more at ForbesCouncils.com.